Welcome back to VOP this morning on VOP TV. With the high cost of living and current economic crisis, the Nigerian Labour Congress is set for a nationwide protest on Tuesday, which is today, and Wednesday over economic hardship in Nigeria. The Trade Union Congress, however, withdrew from the protest and asked the federal government to order the importation of food items within 2 weeks to cushion the effect of hardship in the country. TUC accused the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and the World Bank of being behind the high cost of living in the country through their advice for the removal of fuel subsidies and electricity tariffs. The National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, also appealed to the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, not to consider the strike. However, Femi Falana has asked for adequate protection of protesters ahead of the protest. In the studio, we have Mr. Lawale Kundayo, educationist and a farmer, and also a public affairs commentator. And joining us virtually is Barrister Bashiru Baduru. And I would like to ask Mr. Lawale Kundayo this question. Now, people are calling for NLC not to even go for the protest. I'm talking about the TUC, saying that they are withdrawing, they are backing out from the protest. And last week, we also heard that DSS warned them about backing on a protest. Do you think the NLC protest will actually have any effect on the economic hardship Nigerians are passing through?
Now, if I'm going to use this illustration, it's like a child, that is hungry, and you want the child to go to school, or you want to send the child on an errand, and the child is hungry. Of course, the child cannot beat you. You are the mother. It's so small. You get. But the child has one instrument. It will not do what that thing you said it should do. It will continue to cry. The child will cry until you get tired. You get it? That is what Nigerians are doing. You get? Because now, at this point, Nigerians are desperate. They are hopeless. Even when you talk about TUC, what is TUC? It's just the formality of, it's just a formality.
You think so?
Yes, because the people under it are the actual people. And they have been going on strike, for God's sake. There was on demonstrations in Oyo State. Did they go on under the umbrella of TUC? They went on their own on the streets.
Those were Nigerians, not a trade union, not organized labor.
No, that's what you say.
Now we're talking about organized labor.
That's what I'm saying. That when you say TUC, you say organized labor. Both of the NLC, both of them are running concurrently. They are separated. They are together. So one can declare a protest. One may say he doesn't want to, because both of them are running concurrently.
All right.
So now, if TUC says he's not going on protest because he believes that it will cause problems, but Nigerians are already going on protest on their own without TUC. You get it? That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
So Nigerians are already going on protest. Ordinary Nigerians with no organization, they are not even coming out under anybody, whether they are under TUC or under NLC. We are not coming out under any organization. What they are coming on the street on their own.
Yes,
because they are hungry on their own.
But do you think that this organized protest now by Nigeria Labour Congress, do you think is going to help to cushion the effect of the economic hardship we're having in the country?
See, the people, you see, NLC has been, shelving the strike, but it now come to the level it to realize that it's like it has no choice, because people are coming out on their own without these bodies.
So this protest will help us.
Yes, you see that it has no choice but to be with the people. That is what NLC is doing now. Okay. It has no choice but to be with the people, because the people are already coming out on their own.
All right.
Seeing that NUC is saying that they are not together with...
you mean the TUC?
TUC rather, they're not together with... NLC. Is that not
with
going
regards
to
the strike?
To the strike, yes. Is that not...
the protest, rather.
The protest, yeah. Don't you think there's something going up that possibly we do not know?
It's possible. It's like the leadership, maybe the leadership of NLC saw that if they come together with TUC...
Oh, well, let me interrupt you here. Basically, when NLC called for the strike, TUC did not say they were going to join in the strike from the very beginning, in the protest rather. It's a 2-day protest that will lead up to a strike if nothing is done. But let me come to the barrister now. Barrister, welcome once again. Now, in previous times, we've seen government dilly-dally when it comes to conversations with organized labor. And the position of organized labor has been, if they don't call for a protest, if they don't call for a strike, government will not call them to a round table to have conversations. In October 2023, there were conversations as to certain implementations of certain things that should be done to cushion the effects of the removal of subsidy on Nigerians. I mean, you were talking about the removal of subsidy earlier. Now, some of these things were not done. There was to be a committee set up to talk about the proposal of the new minimum wage. That committee was not set up until some weeks back. The wage award, the 35,000 naira wage award, was not even paid up until very recently. You know, it just seemed like when NLC decided to go on protest, then government started paying the wage award. Now, government has also talked about paying the 25,000 naira to families, 12 million households. That conversation is coming up now. But these things were discussed, actually, were supposed to have been implemented from October 2023. Is it that government is just taking Nigerians and NLC for granted, as some are postulating? Or what exactly do you think has been the reason for government's dilly-dally in implementing some of the agreements reached?
Yeah, I think, thank you. I wouldn't know whether this your correspondence on the street. I think his mic is on and the interruption is coming. So,
oh yes,
now,
we do apologize for that. They'll fix the microphone. We have our correspondents on the street monitoring the protest there. But please,
I noticed that. Yeah.
Go ahead, please.
You see, in the past, NLC used to be a very strong body. In fact, NANS used to be a very strong body on the government, especially when policies are rolled out and they sat down to look at the policy and evaluate and say, no, there are things hidden in this policy that are not known to the public, and we have to make it known to the public because the objective of the government with this policy is not positive, it's negative. And they come on the streets to protest. Yes, when you do protest against strike, when you call for strike, you ought to have held meetings with the government, and if this meeting is not yielding, then you can declare a strike action. That is a sit-at-home industrial action. But for a protest, a demonstration, a walk around the street, you don't particularly need to hold any sections with the government. It's just to show that this is to tell the government we may be going on strike after showing to the public that the policy of this government is not favorable to the public. That is the picture. But the truth is away totally from the picture. Agreed, the things are hard, but not only in Nigeria. Things are hard not only in Nigeria. In South Africa, as at yesterday, there is a call that a liter of petrol is selling for 1,850 naira, like 44 rands. So it's so embarrassing. Have they removed fuel subsidy in South Africa too? So the question is not about Nigeria, it's not about removal of fuel subsidy. Have these leaders of this NLC actually sat down to evaluate things appropriately and inform the public as it is necessary, rather than holding a protest that may go volatile and they will lose control? The same thing they did when NSAS was being muted. There were warnings, but the government of that time just felt It is their constitutional right. Let them use it. Including Femi Falana, who is today claiming that people should go on the street and police must not harass anybody.
Isn't that the position? Isn't that what the police should be doing, actually? Protecting Nigerians who are protesting. Shouldn't they protect as against one that
of course.
Some people might take it over?
Very, very good. If police had warned and restricted your movement to certain locations, they have their reasons, because they gather intelligence and they tell you, please restrict your movements to so environment. When you refuse and things get out of hand, what do you want the police to do?
Apparently, I think what we see here is a lack of trust, because NLC is also saying NLC doesn't seem to trust the government of the day. They feel agents of government infiltrate protest and cause chaos. Yes. So NLC is saying, look, if we are attacked, then we will shut down the economy completely. That's what NLC is saying.
See, NLC is only trying to act the script of his dictators, of his masters.
You think so?
That is the way the government of today will look at it. The more reason why they have to be more careful and modest in this protest. Otherwise, once it is hijacked, they will be blamed for it.
All right, but who would you describe?
How do you identify who are the agents of government infiltrating into their midst? How do you identify them?
But who would you describe as the masters of NLC? Barrister, who would you describe as the masters of NLC? Yes. Seeing that Nigerians, without coming under the umbrella of organized labor, have been going to the streets already. So who are the masters of NLC dictating this particular script now?
Thank you. We can equally argue that these individuals who came to the streets without the prompt of NLC may have also been prompted by NLC underground, not our knowledge.
Sorry about that. All right, Barrister Bashir Badru, we're still speaking. Have we lost connection with the barrister there? Well, we do apologize if we do apologize for that interruption. Our man Tosin Ejalonibu, who is on the streets of Lagos monitoring the NLC protest, seems to have a few words for us. So let's just take a minute, go to Tosin now. Good morning to you, Tosin. What is happening on the streets? I saw earlier rapid response squad vehicles stationed and some Nigerians standing by waiting. What is the situation of things on the streets now? Tosin.
Yes. Can you hear me in the studio?
Oh yes, go right ahead.
So I'm here live in the streets of in Ikeja on that bridge where the protest is happening live here, and you can see at my background here there's heavy security presence here. Already members of the NLC already gathered here to ensure that the strike goes on. The NLC, have insisted on the strike yesterday. They met with a representative of the Labour, representative of the Ministry of Labour, the representative of the presidency, which was the team was headed by the SDF, George Akume, but they still insisted on this strike, and it seems that with what we can see here, this strike is going to go on. Right here in my background here, you can see that you can see members of the NLC already gathered here. I already saw the ASU chairman of Lagos State chapter also here also. They are waiting for the NLC chairman in Lagos, Comrade Agnes Yesi, to arrive here, and they're going to begin the protest. Earlier already, we have representative of the police speaking to the protesters and having a conversation with them to ensure that it's a peaceful protest, and also that to ensure that there's no obstruction of economic activities in the state. So these are some of the things already going on now in live here in Ikeja on that bridge. I'll keep you updated as the protest goes on. But for now, the protesters they are still gathering here. They are still they are still waiting for their chairman, and it seems that they are going to be moving from here down to Alausa to that's where the seat of government is here in Lagos, to ensure that they get the representative of the government to address some of their concerns.
And then thank you very much, Tosin Ejalonibu. who is monitoring the situation of things. We do appreciate you, but do stay safe and keep us abreast of events happening right there.
Thank you very much, Moses.
All right then. Now, let me. Well, we lost connection with Barrister Bashiru Badru there, but I do hope we have re-established communication. But while we wait for that to be confirmed, let me come to you now, Lawale Kundayo. Now, TUC did say that it's advising the government to import food. In fact, giving the government 2 weeks to start importation of food. Relax on the production of food here because of, I mean, we know the issues that we have on ground, insecurity being one of them, and just import food. Let people have food to eat first. How do you react to that? Is massive importation of food into the country the way to go right now?
Well, the word from TUC is just an irresponsible word to me. It's irresponsible. You are telling me.
It's irresponsible?
Yes. You know, because you want to have something to say because you don't want to join NLC on the protest. So you just want to say something so that people will say, okay, oh, they said something. That's why you said they should import. You are giving government 2 weeks to import. Now, NLC will now come out and say, after your 2 weeks expiration, NLC will now come and say, we are not part of it because we are not being involved when they said that. You get, see the way you are trying to create a division between the two bodies that people look up to help them to speak in a body language to the government. You get it? So you are now coming out to tell us that they should import food massively, and that is not a responsible word. It's a word of someone that has no solution, just want to say something. Because we have farmers in Nigeria, and these farmers need to be protected. If the prices of food are going up, the question is, what are we producing inside? Is it enough? Is it not enough? If you say they should import food, what about the price? What about cement? That the price is going up.
Yeah, but the position of TUC is that a hungry man is an angry man. Let man see food to eat first before we talk about building or any other thing.
That means you want to further cause problem in the country.
The farmers in the country. What have the farmers in the country actually produced?
Have
they produced enough thing for us?
That is why I said there must be a strategy. You are just talking without a strategy.
But
that's
you know that
TUC.
if it's the person that is alive,
so
will actually follow a policy.
Okay, so like when look at the one that happened. We look at the one customs is doing. People will import vehicles, you impound their vehicle and sell it at a bad rate. So what happened to the people who have invested in the importation? Now people imported rice. You impound their rice, and then you are now selling it to the people. So what message are you passing out when you now open border? If you want to import, you are importing either because you are not producing that thing, or the one you are producing is not enough. So you have to manage it in such a way that you don't affect those inside. That's why in some developed countries, I'm coming.
Okay.
Government subsidize agriculture. Government buy from farmers and store. That's why you have the word strategic grain reserves. There are so many others. They call it strategy because they buy it from farmers when it is cheap. The Nigerian were the West, the East, when Nigeria was in the regionalization era.
Yeah.
You see,
the rice was actually smuggled, not imported. That was the reason why it was
the
seized.
word smuggled and imported, they are the same word. We are just categorizing them. Each one is defining its own, because when you import, you are bringing it from somewhere to your country. But when you say smuggled, it's still something that is brought in from another country to your country. Only that you are saying that you did not give approval. That's why you are calling it smuggled. But both of them are brought into the country. Let us clarify
So now,
that.
as a farmer that you are, seeing the fact that TUC said that the federal government should import foods for the citizens, how do you react to that? You mentioned the fact that if this is not enough, we should import, and then that.
That's
As
strategy.
a farmer that you are, how do you react to the fact that the TUC is asking the government to import?
Do you
food?
see? When I went to buy some things in my, because I love to buy things, I love cooking, so I buy some things in myself to do some special cooking, and I discovered that it is not all food stores that their price increased astronomically. It is just those ones that are the alternative of those of the other one. For example, if you go to the market, you see some foodstuff for cooking soup, like tomatoes, like onions, like pepper. You see that they did not increase astronomically.
Really?
Yes, I went to buy
no,
yesterday.
they do.
No. I went to buy
Disagree.
tomato yesterday.
Okay.
I went to buy tomato at
Okay.
Oshodi yesterday.
Okay.
If you get there, you see that it is not that the price increased so much. It's just that there's a slight reduction in the quantity compared to when you go to buy something like garri. Garri within a month has increased from 1,500 to 2,500. You see, it's moving because that garri and rice plus wheat, they are in the area of starch.
Staple foods.
Yes, they are in the area of, let me use the word starch. Okay. If you look at protein like fish and meat, we have meat in Nigeria, but because the price of imported fish has increased, people divert to meat, so the price of meat went up.
Okay.
You get, and even Nigeria, like I said earlier on, Lagos State supposed to be supplying the whole Nigeria and the world with fish. We will have had something to fall back to, in which we will not be importing fish, and the price of protein meat will have come down. You see, that is what we call strategy. If farmers are producing, you have to see what the farmers are producing. How are they supposed to sell it? If you are subsidizing agriculture, you will be able to manage the price, and then you know what is coming in. So if you have the one in Nigeria, and the price, you get it, they are producing, let me say, bags of at the cost price. The bag is 10,000 naira, and then farmers add 5,000, making 15,000. It's because that the price is going up. With 15,000, farmers are still making profit. Then you know that, okay, we can still bring in some rice into Nigeria. So the one that is going to be brought in will be expensive, so that only the rich will go for it. While the common man will still remain with the one in Nigeria. Okay. So that's why the one in Nigeria is 15,000. Right. The one imported is 25,000, 30,000.
Are you talking about rice now?
Yes.
Okay, that was a long time ago.
So that's what I'm saying. There's a strategy for you not to say flood the market.
Let's come back to
you want to ruin the economy.
Okay, so Barrister, I want to know if you think there will be a significant change from this protest ongoing. Now, you know very well that you may recall that the Minister of the State mentioned that the federal government had met with NLC over the salary upgrade just twice, and now there's a protest. Do you think that Nigerians should have faith in NLC, that after this protest that there will be a change in everything that they have discussed with the federal government?
Okay. Well, if I say I see a prospect in this protest, I will say I'm just also speaking in tongue. I can't see a prospect in the protest. One, it's significant that Nigerians should be told the truth. And Nigerians are not lazy people. Nigerians are not blockheads. Nigerians can easily see around and say, okay, fine. These people we have chosen to speak on our behalf, how sincere are they? Nigerians have also doubted the sincerity of the so-called NLC. I am so shocked when Mr. Lawal said the statement of TUC is I take because the the similarity between importation and smuggling are same. It's just like saying cheating in an exam and passing and the person who read are the same thing. I mean, it doesn't fly with me anyway. But I have not seen any prospect in this protest, because it is going to again exacerbate the hardship around. Should God forbid it turned out to affect the little things people are still doing to manage on their own. If you disturb the economy today and the country is shut down, then it means people who have been managing with the little they had won't even be able to come out, because there will be imposition of curfew, and people will now languish at home because some people who think they have voice to attack the government.
The question I have for you now is, why do you think government would always wait up until it is a wrestling bout before doing agreements reached with organized labor? Why is government
I've seen this government waiting. I've not seen this government waiting for protest. No, I've not seen it, because this government has constituted a committee that, especially on wage raise, and this committee, to my knowledge, have met twice on this same issue. So I have not seen them waiting until people jump to the streets to protest.
But you know, they threatened them with contempt, the same thing that they did in 2023. This present administration actually threatened the NLC with the issue of contempt, taking them to court over that. If they are to carry out today's protest.
If you can remind me, when was this committee set up? And how often were they supposed to meet? And when were they supposed to submit their report? So these are things we have to take into consideration. And how often have this same body, NLC, responded to the call of this committee? How often? So some of these things are unfortunately
brief for NLC here. But from what we have seen, reports...
Neither am I holding brief for the federal government.
I understand.
I'm not doing that.
I understand. But what we've seen from reports is that, I mean, NLC did come out to say, look, most of the time they were supposed to meet with agencies of the government. They were not even there. They will get there and they'll meet empty chairs. And it is only when they say, look, Nigerians, let's come together, let's embark on a protest, let's embark on strike. That's when government moves in to do something. And government says, okay, come, let's sit down and talk. And that, in effect, is why Nigerians seem to have lost trust in NLC. Because when government says, come, let's talk, and it's okay, we are not going on strike anymore, Nigerians say, oh, look, you guys don't even have, you can't even throw your weight around. You don't have what it takes to fight our cause. So Nigerians are going about fighting their cause by themselves, while NLC seems to have lost faith. Some say it's a tactics played by the government. Don't you think so?
It may be, and it may not be. Okay. So it's either ways. So now, what I'm thinking very sincerely is that I would expect, as a member of NBA, as a member of Nigerian Bar Association, I have oftentimes charged on NBA, educate the public about the policies of government, rather than attack the government on what you think they do not do right. When these policies are out, first organize conferences and seminars to talk to people, let them become aware of the implication of these policies, rather than now waiting for the issues to degenerate and you now start. How long have NLCs, the body constituting NLC, what have they doing? What have they done in their respective areas? These organizations that came under the umbrella of NLC, how much orientation, how much sensitization have they done since the removal of subsidy before we get to where we are today?
All right, and Barrister, we are pressed for time.
Except they hit the street and start making some noise.
Barrister, we're pressed for time.
Things will not
We're
work
wrapping
that
up
way.
the show now. We're wrapping up this conversation. So we'd like you to give us, in about a minute, let's have your concluding thoughts on the topics shared so far.
My thought is that the government must be responsive and be responsible, because I do not even support importation of food items. No, I do not. Increase this wage, because things, if you import, it is the same wage you would take to buy things in the market. The things you are importing for us to buy, we don't even have the money to buy it. So make the wage raise your first priority. When that is done, then things you want to import, we will be able to buy and go home safely.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Barrister Bashiru Badru, all the way from Kano. Thanks for joining this conversation. Now let's come to Mr. Lawale Kundayo. Your final thoughts as well in about a minute.
All right. One, I support the demonstration, because in all over the world, systems are set right, governance are set right through protest of the people. When they feel the bite of the government policy, they go on street and the government listen to them. It's going all over developed country, whether France, UK, Germany, US. Protests are going on and it's working.
Okay.
This same government have done protests before against the past government and it worked. So your own too is going to work, and we are going on streets. Normal.
Do you intend to join the protest?
I'm going, yes.
All right. Okay then.
Second, importation of food is normal. But what I am saying is that for you to come out and say in 2 weeks to import is irresponsible. That's what I'm saying.
All right, then.
So it has to be strategic. It must be planned so that you are not going to kill the agric industry at home. You get it? Because you just want to flood the market with goods. No, you have to be strategic about it. We want to import.
Thank you very much.
I support importation.
Lawale Kundayo for coming on the program. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll have business, entertainment, and sports dished to you. So, hey, stay with us. We'll be back in a bit.
When your morning starts, make sure to look around for the right company.